If you're a small business owner in Canada, let me ask you a question. If I ask you right now for your receipts from 6 months ago, your GST or HST records, or your bank statements, how quickly could you find them? If the answer is, I like to look around, you're not alone. A lot of small business owners don't have a bookkeeping problem because they are not making money. They have a bookkeeping problem because their financial documents are scattered everywhere. Some receipts are in the mail, some are sitting in the drawer, some are on your phone, bank statements, online banking, invoices somewhere in accounting software. And when tax comes around, everything suddenly becomes urgent. So today, I'm going to show you a simple 7-folder system that you can use to organize your business records throughout the year. And the best part, you don't need a complicated system. You just use Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, your computer, or any other document managing system. I'm a chartered accountant and tax advisor with over 15 years, and my name is Olabode, aka Budi. I share bookkeeping and Canadian tax tips to help small business owners understand their numbers, stay financially organized, and get ready for tax season. If this is a topic that interests you, stick around and I'm going to give you these 7 steps in a more simplified and a more elaborate way. Folder 1 is sales. The first folder is sales. This is any document related to the money your business earns, depending on the business. That could include customer invoices, sales receipts, online sales reports, payment processor reports, credit card sales reports, e-commerce reports, contract or sales documents. For example, if you're running a consulting business and you send 20 invoices every month, you want a clear place where those invoices can be found. You could organize this folder by year and month. For example, sales 2026, January sales 2026, February, or so on. This makes it much more easier to find information later. Don't rely entirely on your bank deposits to tell you where your sales were. A bank deposit tells you when money came into the bank. Your bookkeeping records should tell you what that money represents. Let's go on to folder 2, expenses folder. The second one is probably one of the most important because this is where you're going to be keeping documentation for business purchases. Think about this. Anytime you buy office supplies, advertising, software, professional fees, rent, utilities, insurance, travel, business meals, supply and materials, you need to organize all these expenses by category or by month. You have various options you can use in terms of categorizing your expenses. You can start with advertising, then a subfolder of expenses, then another subfolder of office. You can also do supplies, another subfolder expenses, then travel. Any system can work. The most important thing is consistency. Here's a mistake I see businesses make. They wait until tax season to organize all their receipts. Don't do that. If you spend just a few minutes today, take a picture of your receipts or your electronic receipts and keep them in all these folders. It will save you a ton of time and save you a ton of money as well during tax season, because the more bookkeeping you need during tax season, the more you are going to pay for your taxes to be filed. Let's move on to the third folder. This is the bank statement folder, right? This folder should contain all the statements for your business. Any business bank account you use, you should put in this folder. And you can tag it by saying bank statement 2026 January, February, and so on. If you have multiple business bank accounts, you should create subfolders for each account. Why is this important? Because your bank statements provide an important record of the transactions that flow through your business bank account. But remember, a bank statement is not a complete bookkeeping system. You still need to properly categorize transactions and maintain supporting documents. For example, if your bank statement shows $2,000 payment to a supplier, you should ideally have documentation that helps explain what $2,000 was for. Let's move on to folder 4. And folder 4 should contain credit cards. Credit cards. If your business uses a credit card, keep those statements organized separately. You could create credit cards 2026, January, February, and so on. If you have multiple business credit cards, create a folder for each one. Here's another important point. Your credit card statement is not the same thing as your receipts. For example, your credit card statement might show Amazon, $240, but that doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what you purchased. The detailed receipt or invoice provides additional information. So when possible, keep both the receipt and invoice and the credit card statement. This gives you a much stronger record for your transaction. Now let's talk about the folder that is especially important for Canadian businesses. This is your GST and HST. You need to create a dedicated folder for these records. You might keep GST, HST returns, confirmation of filings, GST, HST payment records, relevant sales records, input tax credit documentation, CRA correspondences related to GST and HST. You could organize it this way: GST, HST, and a subfolder 2026, or quarter 1 GST, HST 2026, quarter 2, quarter 3, and so on. Organize it like this to make it easier to reference. Why does this matter? Because GST and HST can become confusing when it gets mixed up together with regular business income and expenses. Keeping these records in one place makes it easier to reconcile your GST and HST accounts and prepare your returns. Remember, GST and HST collected from customers isn't simply business income that can be treated as you like. You cannot spend it. It needs a separate account of its own because it needs to be remitted to the government. If you're a small or medium business owner in Canada and you're tired of trying to keep up with bookkeeping, taxes, GST or HST, and all the financial details of running your business, you don't have to do it alone. I run a tax and bookkeeping company called Booty Tax and Accounting. We provide professional bookkeeping, accounting, and tax services for Canadian small and medium businesses, helping you to keep your records organized, stay on top of your tax obligations, and understand your numbers. The best part, our bookkeeping packages start as low as $200 per month, depending on your business needs, of course, the volume of your transactions as well. But whichever way, you can give us a call and we'll be glad to help. Let's move on to folder 6. Folder number 6, payroll. Not all small businesses have payroll, but if you do, this is where you want to keep your employees' information. This is very important. You may want to keep records such as payroll reports, employee records, payroll remittance information, CRA payroll correspondence, T4 related records, records supporting payroll calculations. You can organize payroll by year and pay period or month. For example, payroll, then 2026, or payroll, February, and so on. If you use payroll software, you may be able to download reports regularly. Don't wait until year end to discover that you can't easily locate an important payroll report. And here's the key. Payroll isn't just about paying employees. There can be responsibilities related to deductions, remittances, reporting, and year-end slips. So keep your payroll records organized throughout the year. The last in this segment is folder 7, and that is the assets and equipment. This folder is for larger business purchases such as computers, machinery, furniture, vehicles, equipment, tools, and other significant business assets. Keep the original invoice or purchase document. Why? Because large purchases may receive different accounting or tax treatment from ordinary day-to-day expenses. You want to be able to answer questions such as, when did you buy it? How much did it cost? What exactly did you buy? Who did you buy it from? How was it paid for? Is there financing associated with the purchase? Having this documentation available can make your bookkeeping and year-end work much easier. Now I'm going to give you one more bonus folder. I know I said 7, but I'll give you this one more. Create CRA and important documents folder, right? I recommend having a separate folder for important government and tax documents. For example, you can tag the folder CRA and tax documents. You might keep things like notices of assessments, tax returns, CRA correspondence, business registration documents, important tax elections or forms, and other significant tax-related documents. This can become the Business Central reference folder, right? I'm going to go through how you can organize everything I've said. Your main business folder could look something like this. The main one could be business bookkeeping. And you have folder 1, sales. Folder 2, expenses. Folder 3, bank statements. Folder 4, credit cards. Folder 5, GST, HST. Folder 6, payroll. And folder 7, assets and equipment. And don't forget the bonus folder, CRA and tax documents. Inside each of these folders, organize the documents by year and by month, or any other consistent system that makes sense for your business. The exact folder structure isn't as important as being able to find documents quickly, right? The 10-minute bookkeeping habit I want to introduce you to is this. Once a week, spend 10 to 15 minutes organizing your documents. Ask yourself these questions. Did I receive any new sales documents? Did I make any business purchases? Did I receive any bank or credit card statements? Do I have any HST, GST related transactions? Did I process payroll? Did I purchase any equipment or assets? Move these documents into the appropriate folders. The earlier, the better. That's it. You don't need to spend the entire weekend doing bookkeeping. A small amount of organization every week can make a huge difference when the year end comes. Don't make this big mistake. One of these biggest mistakes business owners make is this. I would organize everything when I need to. The problem is that when you finally need something, you may not remember. You may not remember where it's saved, what the transaction was for, why you purchased that thing in the first place, where the receipt went, which account paid for it. Your future self will thank you for organizing today. I'll give you a final checklist. Let's quickly recap your 7 core bookkeeping folders again. Sales, expenses, bank statements, credit cards, GST, HST, payroll, assets and equipment, and don't forget the bonus folder, CRA and tax documents. If you set this up today and you spend just a few minutes each weekend keeping them organized, you will be in a much better position when it's time to review your books or prepare for year end. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're a small or medium business owner in Canada and you're tired of trying to keep up with bookkeeping, taxes, GST or HST, and all the financial details of running your business, you don't have to do it alone. I run a tax and bookkeeping company called Booty Tax and Accounting. We provide professional bookkeeping, accounting, and tax services for Canadian small and medium businesses, helping you to keep your records organized, stay on top of your tax obligations, and understand your numbers. The best part, our bookkeeping packages start as low as $200 per month, depending on your business needs, of course, the volume of your transactions as well. But whichever way, you can give us a call and we'll be glad to help. If you'd like to learn more about my services, check the link in the description or contact us today for a consultation. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical Canadian bookkeeping and tax tips. And if you have a bookkeeping or tax question you'd like me to explain in a future video, leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.